Gentlemen.
I need your cooperation. Okay? So let's aim at getting out of this classroom all the time. See? Mr. Joe is trying to remind me. Okay. Now, well, the feedback, okay, highlight from each group. Okay? So maybe I will ask your interviewer to mention about the highlights from your group, okay? And then we will summarize what we can need to go further. Is that all right? Yes.
I want to talk first. May I have the privilege to talk first? I don't want to hear this too many times, actually. Everyone started with, may I have the privilege? And then maybe within 10 minutes, I heard about like 5 or 6 times. I think for the first 2 times, still okay. But for the third time onward, it's just got fed up. Okay, so try to get rid of that. And then the second thing is about some unexpected questions. Don't always think the interviewer will ask you questions in a general directions. They may ask you some questions that you may not have expected. Like I asked one of the group, say, how about if you fail in being admitted to the university? What is your next step? I think this is a very good question to see the interviewer's learning attitude and also your attitude toward your life. So if you fail at this point, does it mean the end of the world? Would you want to get up and then do evaluation and move on again? So I think it's good. Everyone should have contingency plan in their life, right? And then another feedback, this is the last for me. Okay, it's about if I ask you to judge a situation, like one of the questions I asked is, you have a chance to join an exchange program, it takes 1 month. But that 1 month is exactly the month before an important assessment, an examination. And you're sure if you go on the service tour, you don't have enough time for your revision. So which would you choose? And this is kind of like, okay, I will go for the exchange tour or I will study. But let the interviewer hear, and you will see both sides of a choice. Okay, at the end I will go. But I will see there are some shortcomings. So I will do something to make up for that, to compensate for the things that I'm going to lose. Now I think it's more mature because we really encourage people to evaluate both sides of an action. So next time when you are asked a similar question, think about it. Another question like, what do you think about taking a part-time job? A lot of university students like to do it. So people may say it's bad, but say how bad. But still, can you see every cloud has a silver lining? There must be some benefits, right, behind it. Or I will, because I'm going to excel in my studies. So do say what you lose. Or this kind of losses can be made up for once again, maybe in another stage of your life. So to show your multiple perspectives and also to show people you see every side of an option. That is good. So, thank you.
Let me come second. Right. I've taught about this with my students with 4 main points. Point 1, there's a question about, okay, let's say, what is your weakness and tell me something about your weakness. I advise my students not to be kind of, straightforward with negative adjectives about them. Try to repackage their weakness. Don't be too honest in a way to degrade themselves. For instance, one of them wants you to say something about their careless. I say, don't use the word careless about yourself. Say you're the professional. Okay, say something to repackage your weakness so as to gloss over your problems. You want to present yourself in the best ever possible light in front of the interviewer. This is not a church where you have to do confession. You do confession to the priest, to the pastor. You never confess in front of the interviewers. Remember this. This is not a church. This is the university. You are going to present yourself in the best ever possible dimension. Alright? And reserve the confession to the priest. Okay. Number 2. Yes, I advise them to back up their theories with concrete examples, life stories, personalized stories. Because imagine if you're an interviewer, he's there to listen to interview, to students, hundreds of them. They may be fed up. If you just hit in a tons of empty ideas, they will be fed up. So you have to personalize your ideas with something interesting, like your travel story. But also applies to don't go too far. If they go too far with something personalized, it's being a bit too sentimental. So on top of the personal story, you have to rationalize your personal story with current issues. So you have the best of the both worlds. You have something personal, you have something rational to come together. And last but not least, the third idea is that you can always predict the questions that are going to be asked. So do homework, prepare for substance to answer a question that will possibly be there. For instance, some students apply for to study science. Just like I asked, oh sorry, because I'm not going to embarrass you. I asked them, I forget the name, sorry, I don't know the name of the scientist, I forget. It's embarrassing. I'll keep our question. Right. Yes, that's all. Okay,
who wants to go next? Okay. Like you, so first of all, I didn't hear students say something like, may I have the privilege to go first? This is pretty good. And the contents are quite specific because maybe from the last workshop they learned about compelling stories. And they really gave some concrete points why they like the medical school, why they want to study law, etc. But there are things that they can work on would be fluency. You still lack confidence, right? I remember I asked the very last question of one of the group that I said, would you like to summarize, okay, in just 10 seconds, why I need to admit you, just one sentence. And then they gave, actually what they answered wouldn't matter. What matters is their confidence. Can you say it, with a confident voice? Right? I think I'm capable. You can't say things like that. But fortunately, most of the group members did it very well. Right? You just need to show that you're confident to be a university student. And one more point I'd like to raise is that remember, when you answer a question, make sure that the answer is really to the point. I asked one question like, so after you've taken the course, how would you the question was, how would you come to your choice? Okay, why would you be so interested in the course that you would like to go for? Then they said that one compelling story, but one of them misinterpreted the question, and then the answer would be very personal instead of how to contribute to society. So when you answer the question, make sure that your answer really can answer the question. Right? Don't be too tense. So listen up before you answer. Or if you're afraid, then you can let some other people go first, and then before you make a mistake, be careful. Right? So basically, I think that they did very well. I can see that they prepared for the answers.
Okay, maybe I'll be next. Now, I guess I'll make 3 points. The first one is the first thing I actually told my class was, how when they come in, they treated themselves like a student of Munsang College. Seriously, what is the beginning of an interview? It starts the moment when you step foot on the university campus. You understand? You never know. Maybe you were just talking to your, maybe even on the minibus. Maybe it just so happened that the guy sitting behind you is a professor who may be interviewing you. You never know. Okay, so be mindful of your actions when you're on campus, because that's also important. If they see something really out of the ordinary, they may already penalize you for being in such a way. Now, a lot of you, when you were during carrying out the discussions or answering questions, for some reason, maybe because you have not had a lot of chances to practice, okay, a lot of people show that you had to work very hard to come up with the answers. So what happened was your hand gesture was like all over the place. A lot of you moved the seats, wiggle the body. I mean, seriously. I think you need more practice, and I think it's understandable. But you have to understand, people, that your body gesture actually speaks louder than words. Okay. And by the way, to add to Miss Lai's point, to communicate to the other person, I think even eye contact would would be one important thing. Okay, are you looking at the person you're talking to? Do you actually look at the interviewers? I think those are also very important. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is the fact that you should have a critical mind, and you should be able to carry out a very sophisticated discussion. But try not to be too critical. Don't criticize people, or because we were working on one question about the principal of Hong Kong U. He was just recently told everybody that he's not renewing his term. Okay, and then immediately our students started saying things like he is not very skillful at administration. Talking about Mr. Choi, somebody who has had many years of experience of research and has been principal of Hong Kong U for 9 years, and you're saying that he is not very skillful an administrator. Some said that he was not keen in being the principal at Hong Kong U. Some said that he didn't have any. He's not passionate. Now, these comments are something that you should not do. Okay. Now, for these kind of questions, I know one of the most difficult things with these kind of questions is that you have not actually familiarized yourself with news. Okay. So one thing I think you should do, even if you hate reading newspaper, you have never read newspaper and you thought it's okay, even if you're those kind of people, my advice would be that at least keep yourself updated with news related to the happenings at university. Okay, because you're going there, you want to walk into the room. You want to enter to that into university. You better know the place, okay, and everything that is about it. Okay, so get yourself prepared. I think that's the least you can do. Another thing that I thought was, by the way, sometimes if you don't know, for example, if it's a very specific issue that you can't handle, it doesn't hurt to wait a little bit. So just wait to see what other people have to say. There's no need to rush to be the first person. Okay, I guess the first person usually is the most confident and somebody who actually know the issues well. Okay, then by all means you should actually move forward. Don't wait. Yeah, if you know the stuff well and if you're good, if you can communicate well, by all means be the first. Do not be the second. But if you are not sure about the issues, then it doesn't hurt to wait a little bit. Okay. Also, there is the technique. Sometimes when dealing with this issue, you can say you can use a lot of conditional sentences. For example, if this is the case, I think he would be. If he do this, it would be good. Okay. Or if this is on the other hand, if he did it like this, and then I think it would not be good. So use conditional to package your ideas. So that this way you make it. You don't have to be so. If you don't really know much about the issue, might as well use this tactic. It's how you answer the questions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So use conditional to package your ideas so that you don't have to say, oh, he's right or wrong. You don't have to say that. Yeah. So from my own experience, I believe that a principle should be this. Okay. If he is not like this, I think maybe. Okay. If he is like that, and then okay. So do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
I want to add one point, Mr.
Sure.
Wong. You reminded me something very important. Once I went for an interview, and very interestingly, the interview was started with a question about what I observed on the campus. So I didn't actually prepare myself to be asked about questions on the campus about the posters, the furniture, and also the setting of the entrance. And luckily, I got some inborn ability of observing things, so I can somehow give him some satisfactory answers. But if you got time, maybe you are going to Hong Kong U this Sunday for interview. Maybe Saturday you got a tour, or you go there like 2 hours earlier to walk around the campus, look at the posters, what activities they're having, to look at. They got a lot of places for them to voice out their opinions. Read them, prepare yourself a bit more. Go to the faculty that you're interested. Look at some terms that may be useful. Because sometimes they really want someone who really wants to be the students of that school. That if you pay attention to the things around, it may help you a little bit. So just something that comes to mind.
Right. One final point about, I was just getting into my final point about the answering technique. sometimes you can, now you can't prepare the subject, you never know what the topics are, okay? But what you can do is have strategy in answering questions. For example, most of the stuff that you will be asked most likely would be related to social issues or educational issues. Of course, we have always learned, like, you know how we have the introduction, body, conclusion type of stuff. Now, of course, I'm not talking about that. What I want you to do is, for example, let's say the topic is liberal studies, okay? And what you can do is when you're asked to talk about liberal studies and how the students react to it or the community react to it, what you can do is first talk about the beliefs that are behind liberal studies, why the EDB had introduced liberal studies, and then now you guys were the students, so from your own experience, talk about the rationale and the beliefs behind some educational issue, and then your practical experience, because you have your own experience. So 1, 2, that's the second part. The third part is what other people say. Now keep in mind, be objective. People can say a lot of things, and they don't represent you, okay? But tell people that I actually know enough. I know what other people think, and then at the end, and then you comment your own opinions. Do you understand? So 4 parts: the belief, the rationale, and then your practical experience, and then what other people think, and then what you think. That's how a simple way to organize your ideas. So you cannot prepare the topic, but you can prepare how to handle different types of questions. Do you understand? Okay, so these are techniques that you can think about when you are preparing. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, and it's quite nervous for me to present my ideas in front of so many English teachers. First of all, I want to give credit to the students in my group because I can see there was quite a lot of peer interaction, okay, during the interviews, and sometimes they can even quote other saying, and I really appreciate that. And I think they have improved a lot, okay, when compared to their performance on Friday. Maybe they learned a lot on Friday or Thursday. Okay, but other point that I want to make is that the answer, the response they gave me was not creative enough. Okay, and I remember I posed a question to them. Okay, if you have to use an animal to represent Hong Kong, okay, what kind of animal would you choose? Okay, and most of them gave me some very ordinary answer. For example, rabbit, lion, and even dragon. Okay, I think the answer dragon is very, allow me to say it, okay, it's very boring. Because dragon is the current symbol that we are now using. Okay, and please, okay, take one more step. When the professor or the interviewers ask you this question, okay, what the he or she want to observe? This should be the creativity, right? Okay, so you should give me some more exciting, okay, answer, okay, to impress the professor, to impress the interviewers. Maybe you can please think of something more special. Cockroach, that's that. Okay, can it be? Okay, they can live in a very harsh environment, and you cannot kill the cockroach by having it, right? Yes, hot, okay, and resistant to every situation, climatic anomalies, the hunger, okay, whatever conditions. Okay, so try to think something creative and exciting because the professors, I think, very likely they will be fed up after a day-long interviews. Okay, so try to do something to make them happy and up. And I'd like to see more in my group that is some interaction. Perhaps the questions I ask will not allow you the chance to interact with each other. But then if it is a group interview like this, perhaps it is expected. Mr. Choi, are you going to give us a summary like we did last time?
No, I just want response to Ms. Chin's idea that when students are trying to interact with the others, you can try to address their comment or ideas by naming their surname first. You may not know the people who are going to be in the same group when you are doing the interview, but then very likely they will have name tag. Okay, try to look at their name tag and say something like, I do agree with Mr. Chen or Ms. Ho, for example. Okay, instead of just saying that I agree with the previous student or the previous guy or previous, that would be better. Okay, and I'll keep things short. So just one or two comments. Be prepared for the unexpected questions. Okay, so I asked one question about what I asked the students to name one wonderful scientific invention, and they start to answer after half a minute. Okay, and giving answer like light bulbs and elevators and television. Okay, so well, they actually have some good idea, but then I would like to have some more recent, okay, small eye-catchy. For example, like a smartphone or those things that you are more familiar with, so that you can talk more about it. Instead of just saying that light bulb, then it can help us to shine. Okay, and also be prepared for the response from the other interviewees. For example, just like I asked one question about the CSR, corporate social responsibility. So I asked them to name one corporation which are doing good at this one. And one student named McDonald's, okay? And the second one named KFC. Wow. So at the end of the interview, I asked the second student whether he's trying to follow the idea or copy the idea from the first student, and he said that he actually followed McDonald's, but then the idea had been mentioned by another student, so he changed his mind to KFC, similar thing. Okay, so be prepared for this kind of situation. Your ideas may be actually used by the other student before you did. Okay, so prepare. Actually, I think of the smartest answer for this question should be anyone. The smartest answer for this question, or the best answer for this question, for Munson student, for MSG student, anyone in science society. Okay.
Now, those who have joined the company program before, you should know about shame on you. And all of you been joining, you've been participating in the new leaders program. Think about the volunteers. Where did they come from? Yes, you should have knowledge. How about the one from the Charter Bank, the one from the HSBC? Those volunteers, they are doing CSR. Now, you shouldn't say McDonald's because McDonald's is the one. I'm sorry, I'm sure. But that is very true. And I don't know whether you have a label. I do know, what, some of my friends are doing the McDonald's products, those little happy hits for the kids. You know what kind of price or how harsh they put up with all the criteria for the manufacturer. Now, if you want the details, you come to the outside. Okay, so McDonald's is definitely not the one, and neither will be KFC. Okay, so now you guys have to read magazine from Times, read magazine from newspapers. Okay, now I'm not going to repeat everything the teacher said, but let's give your teachers. Many good advice, and I'm not going to repeat it. But now, come to a quick quiz for you. All right? What did your teachers reminding you? Now, summarize it. Give me just keywords. I only want board, write down the first one. Yeah. And you go to the board, write down the second one. And you, the A, go to the board, write down the first one. And you. Ah, good. Clear boards, okay. There should be more, huh? Go to the book. And go to the book. Teachers check their work, see if they're paying attention. Okay, any more? Would you? Go to the board if you can find more. What do you mean by change? Please. Huh?
Change.
Okay, you should be saying flexible. Is that what you mean? Personalized. A couple of times teacher mentioned about being personalized with your answers. Okay, flexible. Teachers?
Try to present yourself as possible. Have lectures against.
Okay, no negatives. Okay, maybe, and then if you go to the board right now, no negative package. Okay, any more? Miss Line, anything you want to add? Or you think they still may not know about it? Mr. Paul, all the teachers, Miss Cherry. Global perspective. Global perspective. Somebody. Now see. Be initiative. I like this one. I like this one. Okay. Anyone? Be globalized. Any more?
I think they should sit still.
Huh?
Sit still.
Sit still, don't wait.
Okay.
Don't wiggle the body.
Don't. Okay. Sit
still.
properly. Yeah. Yes. Sit properly, okay? If you want to dance, if you want to wiggle, wait until you get home. Okay. All right, any more? Please and law. Any more? Ah, see? Now I can see somebody written down the things, so you won't forget. A lot of users think, okay, any more? All right, now I want to show that. I know it's a bit running out of time. We're short of time now. This slide's case, she brought up one thing is, what if you really miss the question? You don't understand the question. What should you do? Now I'll tell you, the handouts that I gave you, the 6 pages handout, in it, yes, somewhere mention it. Now let me tell you, if you don't know, really, you don't know, you can't make up an answer which you are answering something else, okay? If you would look very silly. So it's no harm to ask again, but by asking very politely, by saying, I'm sorry, I may have missed your point. Would you mind? Would you mind, remember M-I-N-G, would you mind repeating your question? Okay? And then when the professor or the interviewer repeating that, say thank you and then stop, answer your question. It's no harm to do that, rather than making yourself silly by answering something which is totally out of the question. Okay? So any other possible situations that you still doubt about, you better raise it. You better raise them now so I can help you, or the teachers can help you. See, you got the best part, huh? We have a team of professional teachers helping you. So, any more questions?